Now, second thing, we have looked the demo of creation of Iceberg and what kind of metadata files are formed using this video, right? Now, using this particular part or this demo file, right? Now, let us understand that what feature does Databricks basically provides to use the Iceberg table format. This is not the feature which Databricks had provided. I had to specially create the cluster, make changes to it, all right? Now, what Databricks does is it provides a special kind of, you can say, property or feature of delta uniform. You can see on the top I've written delta uniform. So, what is delta uniform basically? So, what happened is people at Databricks realized that, see, we need to allow our users to use the features of different table formats. We have our own table format in place, but the other table formats have also something very unique with respect to it, right? Now, if they wanted to give the users the feature, they what they thought, like they were very intelligent on this part. They told that, see, we will tell the users to use our table format, which is delta, but will not constrain them to do the features of delta only. Okay, we'll allow them to utilize the other table format features even. So what they did using this delta uniform, they told that we'll allow the users, they'll use delta table format, but while using the delta table format they can also utilize the extra features of Iceberg, the extra features of hoodie, okay, all of them, all right. So let us just create this table. If not exist employee, we have already the table in place. So let me see, I've just run this command and okay, couldn't find column department root. Okay, let me just drop this table. Drop. Okay, it's already formed. That's why it's given an issue, right? Drop table if exists employee. All right. Let me just convert this cell to SQL kind of cell, and I'll run this. All right. Now, I dropped this table. Let me just create this table. Okay. So we have the department ID. Rather, we keep partitioning by department. Okay, we run it. That's why the issue was there. And I've get the location as S3. So within S3 I'll specify schema. Why is it happening? I've dropped the table, right? Drop table if exists. I've kept the ID, name, age, salary, department ID. Oh, okay. So what happens is in this particular employee path, I have already created the table. So when you so I've told you, right, there are two different kinds of tables that we have: the managed kind of table and the external kind of table. In the external kind of table, you basically specify the path. What I have done is three iceberg compute employee, and in managed kind of table, it takes the default path basically. It is like, right. So let me just drop the particular metadata information which this particular path contains. All right. So dbutils.fs.rm. So this is the command to remove that particular folder. Let's just see. Okay, and then I'll write true over here. So it will recursively delete all the metadata files that we have inside this particular folder. Right? It's not deleted. It's been shown true because files were there. Now when I create the table, there will be no issue. So these kind of practical sessions are very important for the people who are coming new into the industry, or have 1 or 2 years of experience, because it will help them understand how to handle these scenarios, like these kind of issues we do face in daily to daily scenes, daily to daily activities of data engineering tasks, right? So see, I've created the table and this done. It's showing okay. All right. Now I've kept a different location. That's why it's a external table. I've partitioned by department ID basically. And what are the table properties I've kept? So since delta uniform is a particular kind of feature provided by the people of Databricks, what they told, like, see, you form the table using delta. But if you want to use certain features of Iceberg, just enable these features. Okay. So delta dot column mapping mode name, delta dot enable iceberg compatibility equal to true, and universal enabled formats equal to iceberg. So when you basically enable these features of delta, then you will be able to utilize the features of iceberg. That's what you have done. So they are enabling the iceberg compatibility. Okay, that's what they are doing. No need to get into depth, but just it's top view. Okay, now when I describe this table, just look at what how things are being shown over here. It's quite different to the way in which we saw in the iceberg demo of like the Hadoop catalog iceberg demo basically. Okay, just few minutes back what we saw. See, column names are there, partition information is there, but what kind of difference was there? So when I go to this screen, let me show you what it was written: partitioning part zero business unit. That's the kind of metadata files or metadata information which iceberg table format gives. But what iceberg delta table format does it partition information partition within partition information we have the column name and the data type column headers. We have department ID string. They have like specifically given the correct kind of column headers, but we did not have that in over here, right? That's one thing that we can see, like it's better in basically the delta table format. Now next thing about the location, you can see I provided the default thing, right? But here the metadata location is different. I provided this one. Okay, by default kept as iceberg employee. So all the metadata information is put inside this employee folder. So within employee the metadata folder is created, and within metadata these kind of metadata files are getting created, right? Now from this, how will you get to know that this is a see the type of table is external basically. This provider is iceberg. That's what we get to know. But how will you know that this is a iceberg table format? How will you get to know this? So you'll get to know this from here. These three fields: delta uniform iceberg, metadata location is there, converted delta version is there, converted delta timestamp is there. All right. So the row number 13 and row number 14 are the extra metadata level information which is created when we create a table using the iceberg features within delta, basically the delta uniform iceberg features. All right. So these are the two specific columns: converted delta version and converted delta timestamp, using which you can know that see this is we are using the iceberg feature of delta uniform. You can see of delta uniform basically, like we will be using iceberg feature within delta table basically. All right. See, using this you can know. Okay, this converted delta version and converted delta timestamp. Now when you go below, just look at it. I'll just run this file. See the delta log. There are two kinds of delta metadata folders which are created: delta log and metadata. Now this is with relevance to delta table format. This video doesn't have the scope of explaining delta table format. Maybe in another series we'll look at it. All right. So when we insert data into this, again, just look at look at the way in which what they're doing basically. So okay, yeah. Let me just run this. So it's inserting data into this delta table of having features of iceberg. That's what that's the way in which you can study. And in the end, I'll also show you that why I kept the no isolation shared in data Odyssey, but over here like it's standard. It specifically see that this particular table is visible in the Unity catalog. Now where to see that I'll tell you. Now see over here. When you insert data over here, basically you are able to see the number of affected rows and the number of inserted rows, like 3 3. Now when you get down over here, like I had inserted data into the table, right? Now what we saw, it didn't show anything. Now this is a bug, right? Like Databricks has kept its delta table format specifically very good, correct, right? But for the iceberg, when we want to specifically use it, it's not allowing or maybe showing incorrect things. That's what you can get to see, right? Like these kind of sessions are very exciting. You get to know something very practically, correct? It is a kind of long video, but it's very practical. It's practically required a lot, right? Now This is the folder which are given external path, and within this external path, these are the kind of folders which are created. Okay. Now, what is happening over here basically? All right. Now, what we have done, what we have partitioned upon, just think of. First of all, prior to partitioning, we had the underscore delta log and the metadata folder, right? Now, after insertion of values, these are the folders that are created. We have the delta log on metadata, but these are certain new folders: hi, fq, sw. All right. Now, what are these and why are these happening? When you look over here, we had partition about department ID, right? Correct. Now, what are the different department IDs that we have over here? 4, 3, 1. So these are the three different department IDs. So folders will be formed on the basis of these department IDs. Now, what Iceberg does is it basically like the delta uniform feature, which inculcates features of Iceberg into delta. It kind of creates hashed folders for these department ID values. So FQ, HI, SW. Now let us see what will happen if we insert another value, okay, in department ID 4 itself. All right, whether any new folder will be formed or one of the folders will get affected only amongst this FQ, HI or SW. All right. So I just take up this value. Let's insert values over to this. Okay, 4. All right, let's partition upon this. Maybe let us write it as 5. Okay, 4. Maybe my name, Soumya Parida. Okay, and maybe a date as 20. All right, and 2024. Let's see whether a new folder, this kind of FQHI and SW will be formed. All right. So just understand. Okay. See that. Say that. All right. Sorry. Acceptment done. Oh shit. Yeah. Values. So let's see. We have inserted values into this. Just look. We have FQ. Just let me write it down. Inserted number of affected rows is 1 and number of inserted rows is 1. Okay. Now we what are the folders apart from metadata and delta log? It was FQ. All right. We had HI and we had SW. Let's see any new folder is being formed or not. Okay. What is it? FQ, HI, SW. And again, TL is getting formed. So just see, as you go on inserting values in this particular table, okay, new kind of folders are getting created. Now, when you look into the values of this folder, you will see that certain kind of compression is being applied on the Parquet for files even. So let me just get into one of these folders, maybe PL. Okay, you see they have applied a ZSTD compression. Now, what is ZSTD compression basically? That's not the scope of the video. Just see, ZSTD compression is being applied on the Parquet files. Okay. Now these are the things that are being performed by the that have been brought in by the people of Databricks itself, just to so that users can utilize the features of Iceberg along with the Delta tables. That's something that people at Databricks have done. But when you looked into these when you looked into the Iceberg, right over here, what did you see? It was some entirely different, right? Like the kind of metadata files that were being formed is entirely different. So the focus of this video was to just explain you that, see, these are the two ways in which you can explore basically the Iceberg table format. Of course, this one is more kind of original. This Iceberg demo Hadoop catalog is more kind of original. It's the way in which you only explore Iceberg. But when you utilize this delta uniform feature, like the Iceberg feature of delta uniform property, you can say, right, you basically utilize delta also and also learn about Iceberg again. So see, so these are the different things that we have got to know in this particular session, right? Maybe in the next session I'll tell you when you alter the table what kind of things to take place. All right, we'll get to know about this. Also we'll learn about the limitations. Like this is already a very long video. So what are the various limitations that Iceberg basically has? All right, using this delta uniform feature. Okay, there are multiple limitations with respect to it. You cannot utilize fully all the features of Iceberg that we have. There are limitations. We'll get to know about it, but yeah. So this is the kind of difference. Okay, last one thing that I want to tell about you, that see, the table that I formed using delta and inculcating features of Iceberg into it, basically using the delta uniform properties, is actually the inside the catalog. So when I click upon this is basically the catalog in Databricks, which or maybe you can see it from here even. All right. Okay, so you'll see there's a employee table formed. Okay, wait one second. See over here. Yeah, see, the employee table is formed, but you'll not be able to see the department table basically. You have created the department table over here, right? But it's not visible in the catalog. But we are able to see the employee table, all the different informations related to the employee table, right? So that's one thing that we got to know. So basically, when you utilize delta uniform features, like, you are able to see the delta table with iceberg properties in the catalog. But when you are utilizing specifically developing a cluster where you are not allowing the unity catalog to get involved, the catalog provided by people of Databricks will not be able to see the table. So that's one negative point of this using this iceberg. When you want to use Databricks environment basically, right, for compute. Okay, and see, one thing that also I wanted to show to you people is like within the S3. See, for this demo, for this delta uniform, what you can see, what part I have taken, just look at over here. I've taken iceberg compute. So that's the particular S3 bucket within which I'll be forming the metadata files of that particular table. Just get into this. Just look at over here. We have the employee table. We have the employee folder, right? And in the employee folder, just look at it. Whatever we were able to look at over there, right? We are able to look at over there, correct? Just let me show it to you again. Uh, 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 mm, Let me run this. Um, See, FQ delta log HI metadata PL SW, right? Delta log FQ HI metadata PL SW. These are the folders which are getting created. Okay, I given an external path and we're able to see the folders. Okay, so yeah, so this was kind of a long video, but we got to know multiple things of how to basically you create tables using the iceberg table format specifically, and also using the delta table format and inculcating iceberg features into it. All right, so these are the two different ways in which you can see this look at the iceberg table format basically. Of course, this particular iceberg demo Hadoop catalog is an original way in which you will explore iceberg. Okay, that's how the documentation is done. But if you want to utilize the delta table format but inculcate delta iceberg features into it, then it's up to you. You can use it. This is one of them, and it's much more in alignment with the people of Databricks, because delta is specific to their table format. Okay, okay, all right. Apart from this, like if you are asking that why did I choose the version as 10.4, okay, I looked up at a documentation. I'll be attaching the documentation of how to specifically utilize the original version of iceberg table format, like create tables using it basically, like create table employee or something, then columns is using iceberg, not using delta. Okay, using iceberg, then there's a documentation. The documentation is over here basically. um, it's by the people of Gremio. All right, so I'll tell you like what, like it's they have kept it very clear, like why this particular runtime jar. Okay, like I followed all the steps over here and just explored the differences of using the delta uniform features and this specifically iceberg table format. What kind of metadata file difference and what are the differences basically, right? So these are the kind of things I kept the cluster configuration, changes in the Spark configuration which I had done. I showed you, right? So that's also, it's all defined. I just specified the warehouse folder path. Okay, so you can look all of this over here. I'll be attaching that in the description of this video or somewhere in the comment. Yeah. So um, thank you.